Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, so up till the 8th mantra, Brahma Vidya or knowledge of the infinite, or that knowledge which reveals to us the identity of the individual with the infinite, that Brahma Vidya is complete. However, for sadhakas, for those who are still seekers and follow different sadhanas, different practices, the Upanishad also has to make it clear as to how to practice those sadhanas for your spiritual progress and not for further bondage. And how the different sadhanas, when combined in a particular manner, can be most beneficial. In the Upanishads, it is clearly said that when any particular practice, its limitation is being pointed out, it is not a criticism of anything, it is only the praise of something which is more effective and which is better. This foundation we have to understand as to how the Upanishads explain. It is clear now to all of us that the infinite reality is not something to be attained through any action. It has only to be known. It is not that the Atma has to transform into Paramatma or Brahman. Atma is Brahman, but because of our ignorance and its consequent delusion, we identify with the body, mind, intellect, with the upadhis, and we consider ourselves to be this finite individual. And this reality, this truth, or you can say our bondage and our suffering cannot come to end with any other end, by any other practice other than discovering our own infinite blissful nature, and which can be only through knowledge, through Brahma Vidya. Yeah? And we have seen the nature of this knowledge. It is not some information about a table or a chair. This we have to be very clear as spiritual students. Otherwise, kurute ganga sagar gamanam vrata paripalanam athva dhanam jnana vihina sarvamatena bhajatina muktim janmashatena. Even all the religious practices, even the noble actions that we do, they have a place, they have a significance, they have a benefit. But none of them can directly lead us to liberation, moksha, and directly to abide in our true nature, which can only be through knowledge. Yeah? And what does knowledge mean? Now you have seen in this last few days. Clear? This must be very, very clear. Otherwise, lifetimes we do certain things, including meditation. without knowledge. They all have their benefits, but they are not the direct means for liberation. Our bondage, our sorrow comes to end only with our direct knowledge of our infinite nature. Now, when we are in this ignorance, when we are identified with the body, mind, intellect, when we feel this apurnata, this finitude, in this finitude, the desire to be infinitely happy, permanently happy, to attain that state of permanence, immortality, all this desire, when it is misplaced, we think that we get more objects, we will get satisfied. But this also we have seen that no amount of incomplete, finite things can give us completeness. No world of experience, and every world of experience is only in Maya, in ignorance, and limited, can give us unlimited happiness. Even Brahma Lok, whose one day and night, and the entire cycle of creation is 8.2 billion years, that is only one cycle of creation, which is one day of the Creator, multiplied by 365, multiplied by 100, is the lifespan of one Creator's creation. Even that, Nachiketa says, one day comes to an end. And therefore, the wise one does not even choose these highest worlds of experience, which is gained after so much effort, purification, karma and upasana, and even then, living in those highly sattvic, pleasurable worlds, from where even Jay and Vijay fall down sometimes. All this is still finite compared to the infinite self, our own nature. When Guruji had completed his Vedanta course, now also if you look at him, he's so short, even now he looks so, small. Can you imagine when he was 20 years old or 22 years old when he completed? Like all young brahmacharis, and plus he so anyway looks small. So if he went to anybody's house for bhiksha and they offered a cup of coffee, I say, I don't drink, or tea, say, I don't drink. You brahmacharis, you mahatmas are so great. Humse to chai bhi nahi chhutti. Now, when somebody praises you, you like it, of course. But you feel kind of a little embarrassed also. So Guruji just turned around and told them that, you grahastas are greater than us. Means you family people living in the world are greater than us. And people in the world, grahastas, especially family people, they do think, the sannyasis, what problems do they have? They can lecture, they can eat. What problems do they have? We have got so many problems, and because we've got so many problems, we are great. And in this world also, we take the side of the underdog. बिचारा, बिचारा है तो अच्छा है, बिचारा भला आदमी, बिचारा है तो अच्छा है, and confident and successful, no, dirty rich. This is, yeah, this is how people have that mentality. This is all say na, this whole गोरख धंधा है भाई, उल्टे को सुल्टा, सुल्टे को उल्टा. This is called as moha. We live in complete delusion. Anyway, the story is that he said you grahasthas are greater. But as I said, praised on the face, you feel embarrassed. They said, no, we're not able to give up a cup of tea, and you brahmacharis have given up the entire world. He says, no. Your renunciation is greater than our renunciation. We have given up this finite world to attain the infinite Brahman. You have given up the infinite Brahman for this finite world. Yeah? किसका त्याग बड़ा है बताओ? But whose renunciation is foolish? Yeah? So when we are living in this world, giving importance to certain things, and to attain these things, we do action, karma. We do actions. Now when we do actions, or we say work also, when we do actions, karma is possible only in ignorance. Yeah? When I consider myself to be finite and the world something other than me, and to gain happiness, I try to gain something which can be gained only through action. Therefore, action is called as avidya. Technical word, it's called as avidya. And the word avidya means opposite to vidya, means in ignorance, or also it means like vidya, but not vidya. This meaning is also there. The following 3 verses and the 3 verses after that is really speaking of philosopher's paradise. You've got so many explanations, so many interpretations, so many explanations. And not all of them are wrong. As I said, the Upanishad mantras allow us to understand many facets of life, but what it actually means, the truth, we have to understand. It's not a matter of interpretation. It's a matter of application. That can be varied application. Now, we are not going to go so much into the technicalities of it, but first see from the Vedic standpoint how Shankaracharya has explained these terms and explained the meaning of these 3 verses and the following 3 verses on Upasana. Technically, the word avidya is used for karma. Now, if it is used for all desire-prompted activities which lead us to karma phala and bondage, more vasanas, etc., and bind us to this world, such actions are completely opposed to Brahma Vidya, to our spiritual progress. Even those actions, the Vedas point, even desire-prompted activities have to be performed with knowledge of dharma, in a dharmic manner. The Vedic yajnas, whether it was to fulfill our desires, in that also how to fulfill the desires by even cooperation and sharing with others. Today in our corporate language, I will explain in that also that whenever you act with cooperation, teamwork, and in the spirit of fair distribution of wealth, then there is prosperity, there is progress, and you can fulfill your desires also. So that is what is demonstrated in yajna. I will not use the word ritual because today it has taken a very derogatory term. Brushing your teeth daily at the same time is a ritual. Brushing the teeth is not a ritual. But you should do it as a ritual so you do not forget it. You understand these terms? And see the mischief when it's translated or in a different language or with some ulterior motives. When it is translated, Hindus are ritualistic. Yeah? But going to office daily is a ritual. Getting up every day and saying, I love you, darling. You better make it a ritual. Yeah? So what you practice regularly is a ritual. And yes, your worship should also be a ritual. But worship is not ritual. And yajna, there are certain yajnas like Agnihotra, etc., which were considered as your nitya karma or your daily duties. So there were kamya karmas, certain yajnas pointed out to achieve which you cannot achieve with just ordinary action. You can't achieve with just ordinary actions. So certain, to attain some very high desires which are not easily available through common actions, or even for the attainment of even those who can't have children. Now you have IVF, but or to attain heaven, such kamya karma, but in a dharmic manner, in which even others would benefit, was pointed out. Now such kamya karma are also called as avidya. Yeah? Because they bind us, and it is only in ignorance that such desires are there. Then there were certain nitya karmas, which is called as your daily duties. These yajnas were supposed to be done every day as your daily duties. Today in modern times, where we don't do yajnas that easily, or just the homam sometimes, just do it, and plus fire in the house, etc. This in the Puranic era, when you say Puranic era, just for our understanding, Ved Vyasa, through symbols, fire is also a symbol for worship, and that came the symbols, icons, people call it as idols, pictures. Now pictures are available, right? So you need some altar to focus and dedicate. And therefore, puja became your nitya karma. Your daily worship. And therefore, in all our Hindu homes and in all religious homes also, daily puja, prayer, in Kali Yuga it has become just pratna, no? And that's why those religions that only propagate prayer, it is easy, But this is your nitya karma. Daily puja that should be done. And in that puja is included your spirit of sharing also. Because the prasad, naivedyam that you offer, or that which you, ahuti that you offer in the yajna offerings you put as yajna shishta or prasad, that has to be distributed. Then there was bhuta yajna. Every day you are supposed to offer to the birds, to the animals, to the trees. These were all part of daily duties. This you didn't do for a particular desire, but this is for your daily duties. And doing your daily duties, like today, whatever you call as your duties is not only to your family, you have duties to the environment, you have duties to the world at large, you have duty towards your country, you have duty towards the plants and the animals. And this was so much part of our culture, and these were considered as our daily duties. And as we have started living in urban societies, with our work lifestyle becoming so hectic, most of our karmas are only kamya karmas, causing only stress, anxiety, etc. And yet, most of you do it to get an income to provide for the family. Then it becomes a duty. Yeah? And therefore it becomes part of your nitya karma. That which you do out of greed, just for your pleasures, or just going partying, etc. These are all considered as kamya karma, which is called as avidya. But also, your duties that you do, here the word avidya means slightly different. Not exactly vidya, but like vidya or unlike vidya. All these meanings are there in the word avidya. So your daily duties. Then when these actions are done with nishkam bhavana, without any desires, and therefore daily duties are done not just for selfish gains, but as our sense of responsibility for family, the larger family of the world. And when it is done with nishkam bhavana, or it is done as a duty, then such actions, we know, exhaust your existing vasanas for which you've taken up that role, that family, or this individuality. Your existing vasanas get exhausted, and you do not incur more vasana. So in a way, there's a purgation of vasanas. And such actions are beneficial to us in our spiritual path, because it gives us chitta shuddhi, means elimination of our vasanas, reductions of our likes and dislikes and desires. But mind you, it is still in not knowing the self, it is still in ignorance that I am this individual with vasanas. I have to purify myself. Remember, Atma is Shuddha. It does not require any purification. And therefore, even such karma is in ignorance only. Please understand. Therefore, it is also avidya. Giving a deeper understanding of these terms so that we understand our spiritual path clearly. So that is also called as avidya. Now between kamya karma and Brahma Vidya, they are poles apart. That is complete darkness. This is light. There can be no, where light is there, there is no darkness. Where there is darkness, there is no visible light. So when the scriptures are talking about karma, they are talking about the karma which is dharmic, which is our duty. Now those actions can be in line with our spirituality. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita, niyatam kuru karmatvam, karma jayo hi akarmanaha. That you do your bounden duty. Then when this duty is done with upasana. So the word vidya means knowledge, but in the Vedas both meaning is there. One is knowledge, and that is knowledge of the absolute, that is called as vidya. The other is when it is said, that it is anna vidya, it is bhuta vidya. That vidya which is done with knowledge of the various sciences is technically called as upasana. Upasana, where your mind is brought close to the ideal. Mind is brought close to the ideal, and the principle of as you think, so you become. So upasanas are all method, if we see in our modern parlance, are method of mind development. So these are, as you would say, mental development exercises, and these are also very commonly used and called as meditations, because this is internal working with your mind is called as upasana. So when you raise your mind and intellect to have a greater vision, to discover greater powers, to discover greater potentials, all such mental development is through upasana. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.